From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. From Harrison Steidolf, the number of cyclosporiasis cases in Michigan has risen to 9,253 on Monday, July 27th. That's a 13.2 increase since Friday, according to state health officials. Reported cases have increased by a total of 1,077 over the weekend, according to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. The state continues its search for the potential causes of the parasitic disease, which often causes frequent watery and explosive diarrhea. Investigations from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control have found positive links between outbreaks and iceberg lettuce from specific distributors, but no official cause has been confirmed. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show 41 states have confirmed cases of the disease, according to a July 21st surveillance update. On the website, the CDC recorded 4,173 laboratory-confirmed domestic cases of cyclosporiasis and recognizes 7,400 more that require further analysis and investigation. The CDC acknowledged it may report lower numbers than local state-recorded cases, as it uses a different system to record and investigate cases. The CDC said outbreaks often stem from human feces contaminating a common food source or from drinking contaminated water. As of Thursday, the last time hospitalization numbers were released by the state, 160 Michigan cases required hospitalization. For more on this, you can search on Freep.com for Harrison Steidolf's story, Cyclosporiasis Outbreak Surpasses 9,000 Cases in Michigan. From reporter Frank Witzel, Michigan gasoline prices dipped, on average, a penny, falling to $4.22 a gallon on Monday, July 27th, on news that fighting between the United States and Iran had paused, offering a tiny glimmer of hope to folks fearing even higher fuel bills. Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy, however, suggested that while oil prices were, quote, dropping notably after both the U.S. and Iran curbed new attacks, end quote, drivers shouldn't get too excited. It likely means prices at the pump would, quote, inch up, not spike, end quote. DeHaan also said, quote, a weekend pullback in hostilities offered some relief. The pace of increases at the pump may moderate in the days ahead. For now, motorists should expect prices to remain elevated, but the intensity of further gains will depend heavily on how the geopolitical situation develops in the coming week, end quote. Since the airstrike started in late February, oil and gas prices worldwide have gone up and down as the fighting there has repeatedly paused and then escalated with no clear sense of when the conflict or price fluctuations might end. The slight downturn in gasoline prices in Michigan came after a week in which prices at the pump increased by an average of 7 cents, according to AAA, which tracks them nationwide, and an Auto Club spokesperson noted that the statewide average continued to, quote, move higher, end quote. Nationally, the average price was $4.11 per gallon on Monday, no change from Sunday. Michigan motorists are paying an average of $63 for a full 15-gallon tank of gasoline. For more on this, you can search on Freep.com for Frank Witzel's story, Pause in Iran Fighting May Mean Gas Prices Inch Up, Not Spike. From Keith Matheny, the world's newest international crossing, the Gordie Howe International Bridge over the Detroit River between the United States and Canada, is now open to public motorists. One of the most appealing features of the new bridge for international commerce is its direct highway-to-highway connections. The bridge can be reached on the U.S. side via 1.8-mile interchange on I-75 between Springwell Street and Clark Avenue in Detroit. Connecting ramps lead straight from I-75 to the new U.S. port of entry. On the Windsor, Ontario side, the bridge is approached via Highway 401, the EC Row Expressway, and Ojibway Parkway. These major routes feed directly into the Canadian port of entry and the toll infrastructure for the crossing. Like any other U.S.-Canada border crossing, those entering Canada via the Gordie Howe International Bridge require ID, such as a passport, passport card, enhanced license, or Nexus card to get across. Enhanced driver's licenses are only issued by 5 states: Michigan, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, and Washington. It has all the same federal privileges as a real ID, but also allows crossing the U.S. border by land or sea into Canada, Mexico, and some Caribbean nations. It costs roughly $30 more than a standard or real ID and features a U.S. flag icon. For more on this, including a detailed breakdown of tolls and when the bridge will open to pedestrians and bicyclists, you can search on Freep.com for Keith Matheny's story, Gordie Howe International Bridge is open. Here's what you need to cross it. Find more from the Detroit Free Press on Freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.